Thank you very much. So it's a real pleasure to be here today with you. I Secretary General, but even before I was following Eurisy significantly, but still I have to recognize that I still do not know enough, and I learned again about all the great activity you achieved and you are involved in. So thank you very much for all this information. We are two of us are associations. We share, I think, a lot of values, a lot of aims, and for sure some challenge as well. But so for me today, the aim of this presentation is really to, well, first maybe inform yes on this issue project we are involved all together, but as well to invite all your members to act as ambassador of this project, which in fact for me is not really a project. It's much more than a project, and I will develop this. So, in a nutshell, as it is not really the aim, EARSC is a trade association based in Brussels, created 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. We want to be an enabler able to help companies, European companies involved in downstream of the Earth observation sector to understand where they stand in the value chain, to help industry to interact with key stakeholders as ESA, as European Commission, but as well community of users. We represent currently more than 120 members from 25 countries in Europe. And our members represent the whole Earth observation downstream value chains, meaning we have satellite operator, ground stations and management. We have a lot of value-added companies up to GI companies. So if you want to make my day, please pick one of these companies you may not know on the right part of this slide and have a look at what they are doing. And I'm sure you will learn something as well to do. So next slide, please. What I need to share with you, obviously, is the current state of the Earth observation downstream industry. You may have seen a publication we did 2 months ago, the industry survey, that initially we publish every 2 years, but because ESA and the European Commission was really interested to know more, we decided to move on an annual basis. Just 4 numbers to really map the current situation and highlight the really positive trend we are in, and I think the result of the previous activities from the stakeholders as well, but the commitment of the companies as well. First, the number of companies, a significant number increased from 24% by 24% between 19 and 2020. Huge number. This number could be discussed because it is always a challenge to map accurately the company in 1 year. We need 2 years to map it, but a really significant increase for sure. What we can be absolutely sure of are the 2 next one, the creation of jobs. Now the number of employees is at 11,600 employees, so close to 2,000 jobs created in 2020. More than 90% of these numbers come from directly the companies. So we are really confident with this result. So a significant increase in terms of job. Revenues, a significant increase as well, with a plus 24% between 19 and 2020. And this highlights that over the last 5 years, if we consider a CAGR of 5 years, we have a sustained growth of more than 10%. So this is a beautiful success, thanks to the contribution of all the entities involved in this. And let's build on this. There is a lot to do. We all know this. Just a slide in order to explain why EARSC is involved in project. Maybe first, EARSC was created because we had this interest to have a voice, create a voice of the industry, and it has been created with the support of ESA. And then the business model has been a mix of fees from the members, support from ESA, and recently much more stronger involvement in Horizon Europe and Horizon 2020 project before. And I want to raise awareness on 4 of them. The first one, which is PARSEC, that will end by the end of this month, December, is an accelerator. 2.5 million of euros have been shared to direct companies. We have supported 130 companies thanks to this project funded by the European Commission. What about the gap between the current capabilities and the need from community of users? This is what FIRE is about. We have identified 6 markets: agriculture, energy, infrastructure, marine, raw materials, and urban developments, where there is some gaps to identify in order to better use Earth observation in this. We have EO Evangelist program for this, and this is what the FIRE is about. Connect EO, because export market is a key topic. Furthermore, currently with the crisis, it's very difficult for companies to go abroad and to connect, to establish business relation. We have Connect EO, which is targeting currently Chile and Australia, and we will create a front office in Australia to help companies to develop there. And the 4th one is eShape. eShape I will develop. What is important for us is that when we are involved in a project, we need to make sure that the project will support several of the 4 pillars we have: the market knowledge, access to market, access to knowledge, access to capital, or access to technology. And for me, eShape is taking these 4 topics. So this is why eShape was really important for EARSC. We had to be there, and we had to contribute to what eShape is about. It means the development of EuroGeo initiative by the European Commission. So it is not only a project, no, it is an initiative that is there to last, to develop, to promote European capabilities to the world. So let's enter into the activities we have in eShape. As mentioned before, eShape is leading the work package 4, which is about user uptake, capacity building and liaison actions with the support of Eurisy. We have, over the last years, developed a concrete strategic plan in order to increase the uptake of the solutions which are not developed during the project, but which are developed and thanks to the project will be much more visible, on which will develop better connection with new community of users. So it is based on the initial knowledge on connection the pilot had when they joined, and it is based on the interest to develop new connections with new community of users, meaning new communities in different countries or in different communities in the same country. And we need for this to have the support of different ambassadors or relays, multipliers, in order to spread the word about the current capabilities of the entities involved. And Copernicus relays, Copernicus Academy, and GEO obviously are key ones. Furthermore, because GEO and eShape are closely linked, the aim of eShape is really to propose new solutions in order to support geo priorities, Paris Agreement, SDGs, and a Sendai framework. And so for this, we have to organize different meetings in order to understand the needs, how to develop this network, and to organize workshops in order to stimulate the use and onboard new potential users. So, next slide. What we did was to map first the different capabilities of the eShape pilot. We have more than 30 pilots, and we have 5 more in January. We map all these different capabilities with the different 2 visions we have. We use the EARSC taxonomy, so the market one, which is the vision of the user generally, and the thematic one, which is more the vision from the academic side or the service provider side generally, in order to understand how these are connected or not, how to maximize the visibility and the access to the targeted communities. From the market point of view, we can see that the public authorities, international bodies, and what is linked to services are the more relevant or more interest for different pilots. Interesting point is that you can see that 2 of the 3 are, let's say, more public, obviously, but there is still a third which is about more services or more private aims. And if we look at this, we can see that insurance, finance, real estate, and travel tourism are initially not a big part of the Earth observation market share, but are really well aligned with the current evolution, and there is a strong interest in this. So the solutions are really well positioned compared to the current needs. If we look at the thematic, we can see that the ocean, marine, atmosphere, climate, and land are the most important one. And so, thanks to this, we have, next slide, identify how to better help pilots to develop. So after this first, I would say, desktop research, initial assessment, we conducted interviews with all the pilots in order to analyze not only the primary user, but as well the secondary one which are not initially foreseen as a key user, but who need to have access to the same solution for a thematic which is slightly similar, but maybe not initially top of mind. So we map this, and we can see, if we look first at the geography, on the graphic in the middle, that some countries are really targeted by the pilot, and among the solutions which could be more available in the last period of the project, we can see Greece, Italy, Germany, and Finland, for example. If we look at the thematic, we can see as well that there is, for the maritime and for the protected area, a really strong interest. So, thanks to this knowledge, we have conducted a first set of liaison activity in order to identify if the wording, in fact, of the pilot were aligned with the wording of the communities they were targeting, in order to move from the academic point of view to the more application side. We used different multipliers. You have some at the bottom of this slide, and we have developed different initial workshops with some of them, and we develop as well additional workshop with the communities which are much more on the downstream side, in order to really maximize the number of potential attendees and potential user of this solution. So this is for the past. And for the future, we are working currently with Eurisy and the 12 next workshops that we will have to organize up to April 2023. We have here a list of this event. This is normally the final one, but there is some room, obviously, to continue to engage additional communities if possible, if desired. So all the information on these tools will be available on the eShape website, obviously. But as I told you initially, that eShape is not only a project, but is really a vision of the European Commission. We as EARSC will host different content in order to continue to ensure the visibility of these different solutions through the different channels we have. First, EOWiki, which is really an open platform when you can find access to the different success stories and current solutions available on eShape. On EOMall, which is dedicated to the promotion of online services, we will, in the upcoming month, implement a new section dedicated to eShape EuroGeo. So this is a place where users may be able to find. So how can you help us to support? What can you bring? Please become an eShape ambassador. Help us to share the word about the project and the current solution. We need your help in order to improve the capability to establish connection with local community of users, of non-Earth observation users. Help us, if you can, to identify relevant event, or if you organize event in your country. It will be really useful in order really to develop this awareness. And obviously, if you can in a way or the other become an early adopter user of the solution developed, it will be obviously a significant step. So thank you for this time. Let's build all together the success of your geo via eShape. And if you want more information, Eurisy and EARSC is at your disposal for sure. Thank you.